Welcome to the AI for All podcast. I'm Charlie Yielding,
And I'm Shauna Sprague.
and we're here to show you how to automate and make your life easier with AI so you can use that extra time to do things that bring you joy.
Well, thanks for being here with me, Charlie. Excited to show you some more fun things you can do with ChatGPT and AI.
Well, so what are we talking about today?
Today, we are going to show you how you can optimize and create a persona inside of your ChatGPT so that it'll always react the way you want it to. So you can tell it who it is.
So elaborate a little bit for me, please.
All right. So if I want every time if I'm using this for my personal use and I'm not using it for business, maybe I always want it to be a lighthearted tone and a little bit funny. I think I'm funny. Why not, right? Put a little funny in there. And maybe I want it to always give me short answers and, incomplete paragraphs.
Sure.
So I can tell it to always do that. Or just give me bulleted point answers. Don't give me any paragraphs. I only want bullet points.
Okay.
And so I can pre-train the model here and give it a persona that it will always react that way until I tell it different.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. So to do that, all you need to do is click on the three dots. You go over here to customization, the custom instructions.
Okay.
And it's going to give you a little thing introducing the custom instructions, and these are new to ChatGPT. And from here, and it actually even gives you some starter thoughts. So you can say, I can say I live in Nashville, Tennessee. So you can put in your, what do you do for work? So you can describe yourself so that it acts more like you. So I live in Nashville, Tennessee. Say I am a program manager in IT. And I'm going to say, and I love to sew. I know, fun random facts about me. I love to sew and boat. I love boating. All right. And so you can say, so that's something a little bit about me. I'm going to say, I want all of my responses to be, I'm going to say lighthearted and a little funny. We'll say a little funny. And so I'm going to put that, I want all my responses to be lighthearted and a little funny, and I'm going to put that as how would you like ChatGPT to respond? It also gives me some starters in here. So if you look at the top box, I think of this is who you are. And then this is the bottom box is how you want ChatGPT to react.
Yeah.
And so we used to put this into the prompt, but you can kind of pre-engineer this so you don't always have to enter that information.
Yeah.
And so at the top you can say like, I am a social media expert or, whatever you want the ChatGPT to respond as. And I'm going to say, I want all my responses to be a little funny. I'm going to say, make them in paragraph. I'm going to say short paragraph form. Because if you know me, I'm not a big writer.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say save. And so I've got it enabled on new chats. And so the button over here, enable, and just click save. And there we go. And so now every time I ask it a question, ChatGPT, it's going to react with that information ahead of time. So now I can just say like, write an email to my friend wishing her happy birthday. All right. So let's see what it comes up with wishing it. Say it says very merry birthday to you. And so, it's got emojis in here. So it's made it fun and lighthearted, and it's short. It's only a paragraph. So it's done exactly what I asked it to.
Okay.
Now, if I turn that off, I'll give it the same prompt and let's see what it does there.
What if it'll say merry birthday?
Merry birthday. We're about to find out. So I turned that off, and you would want to turn it off. So if I use it for personal and work, when I go to work, I may not want to be as casual with it, thing, something like that. So I'm going to paste the same exact statement in. I'm going to see what it's going to do. And so it is writing me another email, but at this time it's a little less. Yep, it's got 2 paragraphs so far. Yeah, 3 paragraphs, 3 sentences. All right, there we go. So it did write a little bit longer. It's a little more formal, and so it says, I hope your birthday is like the best Wi-Fi connection, uninterrupted happiness, and strength, fun-filled day. So it even made a joke.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know how good that joke is.
Yes,
but
I know.
It is a joke.
That's a dad joke. That's like one of those like dad jokes.
I would accept that as a dad joke.
Awesome.
So I'm thinking, like, you got the wheels turning.
Yeah. How are the wheels turning, Charlie?
And so if I'm so I've tried to do social media posts through GPT, and I've had a hard time I've had a hard time like getting to a point to where I feel like it's something that I wrote
Yeah.
versus something that like somebody who's too wordy wrote. Because I like to get straight to the point and not do too much. But then if you go back and look at some of the data for all posts from back in the day, basically anything with an emoji, I didn't personally write.
You're not a huge emoji.
I'm not an emoji person at all. But then I see people's posts and they use emojis and then it spit out emojis. So I was like, all right, we're using emojis.
Yeah.
But then it was too long and you get lost. And so
Yeah.
I've really shortened them down quite a bit. But I don't want to have to go through the revisioneering or whatever you want to call it every single time I got a post. I just want to say make a post based off of this transcript. And then, and it would know automatically what I want through this. And so I've got a lot of playing to do.
Yeah. And it is a trial and error for sure.
Yeah. I imagine so, but I've only got to do it once.
Yeah.
And then I can, if I want to use that persona to be the social media poster, then I can just turn it off on and off as needed. Or is it only when I say, give me a social media post on this? Can I say like, anytime I ask for a social media post, do this, this, and this?
Yes, when it's enabled. Well, and what you're doing is you're actually, so I always talk, when you're thinking of prompts, you want to say who you are, what you want it to do, and then give it an example. So 3 things. So those are the 3 most important things. Now you can go into more details, but so what you're doing on here is you're presetting who you are and what you want it to do for every post. And as long as that's enabled, and once you enable it, it'll stay enabled, then it's always going to default those 2 things. So then you're going to just say, write a post like that follows the same format as this example. And so what I would do is give it an example of exactly what you did there.
Yeah.
And so there is a way, like if you use Zapier, and I have a video on this on how to get Zapier and connect Zapier, ChatGPT, and get it, and LinkedIn, and get it to automatically post for you. And it will continually write. And then what you do is create the memory key, and you tell it to never repeat. So it will never repeat the same thing.
Interesting.
Yes. So there's a video out there on FemLogic AI. So if you go out there, and it's how to connect, LinkedIn with Zapier as well as ChatGPT. So it's automatically writing all my LinkedIn posts for me.
So I've never thought about I've not thought about it like that.
There is some trust involved, and with that, because it is, and while LinkedIn is important, I am a little more hesitant when I have it automatically send emails. I actually get those to be like sent as drafts, and kind of saved into my folder, and then I release them.
That's a good call.
But for the LinkedIn post, I let it go ahead and do its thing.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's just you're sharing information.
Yeah.
What people say, like what you say specifically, may not matter as much as getting the click through and stuff like that, or the comments or whatnot.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of uses in here. So in my mind, this new way to optimize and actually create your own persona in here is basically saying, now I want you to be an agent that's like me.
Yeah.
I want you to be like me.
I can see where you're coming from on that. Like from a trust perspective, if you know that GPT is going to write from your perspective, then that helps out a lot too, because it's like I'm me, I'm Shauna, I'm posting onto the internet, and that's how I'm writing it in GPT.
Yeah. So I wrote the first one and then gave it an example and said, this is how I talk, and I would like it to be similar to this, but never repeat, a topic.
Yeah.
And so it goes through and it.
So it selects everything for you?
Yeah. It does it all.
Hot damn. That's a video I've got to watch then.
It's actually the most popular video right now I have out there. And so,
I imagine so.
Yeah. So that was something that I met with a brand consultant, and she told me that I needed to be posting on LinkedIn at least once or twice a week. And I'm thinking, that's a challenge to come up with new content, to write all that, to come up with the time.
Did they say whether reposting counts or not?
I do. They said reposting is okay, but it's better if it's original content.
Okay.
So, LinkedIn prefers the way their algorithm works. It prioritizes things that do not repost. It's like things that are on their platform. When you're writing writing content and you're leaving it on their platform.
Yeah,
they
so
don't want you to
LinkedIn
leave.
article.
So if you link to something else and you take them to like Wall Street Journal, they don't like that as much as they'd like if you write it and put it in. So.
Well, I do know. I have noticed that they take my YouTube links and turn it into a LinkedIn preview of the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Instead of just going straight to the YouTube channel. That's interesting. So it'll prioritize. What do they call it? The blog site that LinkedIn has.
Oh, yeah. So the LinkedIn, I can't remember either.
If it's just a LinkedIn blog,
Yeah.
it'll prioritize that.
Yeah, it'll prioritize that because that's on the LinkedIn platform. And other things you can do with Zapier is if there's a channel that you really like, you can get it to notify you anytime they post a new video. Of course, you can do that in YouTube too, where you can set on the notifications there. But you can also get it to automatically create a summary. So that's one of the things I do is so I know whether I want to watch the whole thing or not.
I'm gonna use the persona and see how it works because one of the problems I have with the podcast is that there's three of us. It's you, me, and other Charlie, and I do the posting for the social media, but I write it as if like it's the royal we.
Yeah.
And so it's more third person than first or second, and so I wonder if I could put in like a third person type persona.
Absolutely, you could say right in third person. Yeah, and see
dog.
what it can do. And so usually what I do is like when I'm doing stuff like that is I will play in just regular like ChatGPT 4 and see what it comes up with.
Yeah.
And then once I got the prompt that I'm like, okay, that's producing the content I want.
Okay.
Then I'll take that prompt and then I go back to the Zapier and I put it in there and I get it too.
I'm gonna try it out with my current process where I take the transcript from the video and then make a summary, and then based off of that summary, that's kind of how I go with the social media post. And so the GPT it doesn't do a satisfying job to me, at least, taking that summary and turn it into a social media post because it always wants it to be 3 or 4 paragraphs with the tons of emojis and stuff. And so I have to tell it, write in a cooler tone or make it less flowery is what I use more often than not. And that usually gets the job done. But then when I'm done with it, it's still using these. I don't know if superfluous is the right word, but it's using these like unneeded like
$1,000,000 words.
Yeah. It's unnecessary.
Yeah. That comes back to like never just trust anything. I kind of use it as my editor or to organize my thoughts. So I have a hard time when I'm trying to write something, organizing my thoughts in a way that, makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I basically just want to organize those. So there's other ways to use Zapier. If you had ideas, you can actually create a Google Sheet, Zapier plus ChatGPT plus LinkedIn and combine all those things. And then so you can just have it right off your ideas. So if you had the show titles or things in there.
Okay, so I haven't been watching the videos because I knew we were going to come talk about it. And I didn't want to already know what you were talking about because these genuine responses of mine are more valuable than me and being like, yeah, I already knew that. And so now I'm going to go watch all the videos and set up all the stuff.
Yeah. And there's more Zapier coming. Like I have like a list here of, like more that I'm gonna get onto.
Okay, we'll save that for
we'll save that for the next one. So yeah.
So is there anything else on personas? Like I can't wait to get in and set my persona up in a way that is hopefully helpful. So is there any other stuff you want to cover?
No, just that, like I said, I would play around with it and see what it, comes up with and make sure it's, representing you the way you want it to.
Yeah. And so as we talked about before, you've got the full deep dive start to finish video on FemLogic AI.
I do.
The YouTube channel, but they can also go to femlogicai.com. And if you want to see more from Data for All or AI for All, go to dataforall.io, or we're also on YouTube under Data for All podcast.
And we will link all this in the show notes so you don't have to go back and remember all that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, Charlie. It's been a fun day.
Yep. Until next time.
All right. Thank you.